So it's been a while since I've been able to sit down and talk to you all about perfume. As you know from my last video, we went to Hawaii. I'm not sure if I also mentioned that we were going to be going back east for my son's graduation. So we did have travel and then we got sick. We got really nasty colds, and so I just have not been feeling very well. But now things are finally settling down, so hopefully I can get into some kind of a schedule to be able to film. But during the summer, it does tend to be quite sporadic for me in terms of finding moments to sit down and film videos. So just so you've got that heads up, I do try to film videos every week. I'm going to try to film videos and have them posted every Wednesday for this new perfume channel, but it might be a little bit more sporadic over the summertime. One thing that's really beautiful about the summertime here in our backyard, we have some gorgeous David Austin roses in our backyard. So I just wanted to show them to you real quickly. These roses are so incredible, and they smell just like apricot, which is quite amazing. I cannot remember the name of these roses off the top of my head, but I will go ahead and look it up and tell you what these roses are down below. There's actually a story behind these roses. I visited Mandy Aftel's studio many years ago, and I asked her what her favorite rose was for scent, and this was the rose that she recommended. So I decided to plant these in our backyard. So these are Mandy Aftel approved in terms of scent. They are also incredibly gorgeous too. They have this beautiful apricot color as well. So the color matches the scent, which I think is absolutely beautiful. So I just wanted to give you a little aside as to what I've got growing in my backyard. But what I want to talk to you about today is how my trips went and what my fragrance experiences were on those two respective trips. So as you know, I went to Hawaii and it was absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, it feels like so long ago. It always is such a bummer when you come home and then you get sick, but I'm going to try to recreate the beauty of what it was to be in Hawaii. It was so incredibly relaxing. We went on beautiful hikes. Of course, the beaches were just so beautiful. And then the flowers were absolutely stunning. And in my most recent video that I did where I was talking to you about the fragrances that I was planning to take to Hawaii with me, I ended up mostly wearing Kai, and I kind of had a feeling that that was going to happen. I also brought Child with me, and I also brought Compliment by Maison Violet with me as well, but I ended up wearing Kai almost every single day. And Kai just really speaks to me on such a deep gardenia tropical level that I kind of had a feeling that that was what I was going to reach for the most, but I did want to bring a couple more just to kind of give me some variety if I wanted that. But yeah, I just ended up reaching for Kai, and it's just such a beautiful gardenia perfume with a little bit of rain mixed into it, as well as some lily. And if you want to hear me talking a little bit more about Kai, definitely go check out that video. But I just wanted to give you an update about what I ended up wearing the most when it came to my trip to Hawaii, which, like I said, was just a really beautiful vacation to the Big Island. But what I really want to focus on in this video is the trip that we had back east when it came to my son's graduation. And I decided to have a tea-focused perfume sampling when I took that trip. So I brought Jasmine Tea, I brought Chasing Scents tea service with me, and I also brought Remember Me by Jovoy. And I believe that a viewer commented that I should definitely check out that scent, and I forgot that I actually did have a sample in my stash. So I dug out my sample of Jovoy Remember Me, and then I also had, as I've mentioned in a previous video where I did a tea-focused video, I did bring my sample of tea service as well as Jasmine Tea. So in that video, I had spoken about how my experience with tea service was very, very positive. But in the end, I think what I said is that I would enjoy smelling tea service on somebody else rather than wearing it on my own skin. But let me talk to you a little bit about tea service if you did not already see that video where I was talking about tea fragrances. So tea service has jasmine, oolong tea, osmanthus absolute, goji berry, white peach, and delicate musks. And I was saying that it was very similar to One Day's Jasmine Tea, but that the oolong note was basically on steroids. So I felt like it was very oversteeped and maybe a little bit too strong for me when it came to the oolong note. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous blend of jasmine and osmanthus. You can definitely smell the osmanthus, but the jasmine definitely is stronger than the osmanthus. And I wouldn't say that they compete with each other. They definitely play with each other very, very nicely, but the jasmine is definitely a little bit stronger than the osmanthus in this blend. Now, I do have tea service on my skin today, and that is because I ended up buying a full bottle of tea service. Now, obviously I changed my mind. I decided that I did not want to just wait and smell this perfume on another person. I ended up becoming pretty obsessed with this scent. And what I was looking at over here are my notes, and I have a journal, a perfume journal, where I keep my notes in this journal. And what ended up happening is I had the paper strip where I had dipped the paper strip into my sample of tea service, and then I stuck it in my journal. And so now my journal smells like tea service. And then I think I also had the paper strip maybe in my bathroom or something like that. But anyway, I kept smelling tea service and I just absolutely fell in love with it. That's kind of what ended up happening with me with Diptyque's L'Eau Papier. I also had the paper strip in my bathroom and I just kept smelling it in the air and just totally fell in love with it. So anyway, the scent just really started to draw me in. I became obsessed with it, and then I decided that I just had to have it. And my husband gave me a gift certificate to Lucky Scent, so I decided to go ahead and buy it. And I think the packaging is so adorable. I really love the box that it comes in. And then this is the presentation, and then this is what the bottle looks like. And like I said, I sprayed this onto my skin already today. It smells gorgeous when you sniff it right out of the bottle. And then on my skin, I'm definitely getting that musky floral aspect to it because it has been on my skin already for about 2 hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours. And for me, what I'm really loving about this perfume, not only is it a gorgeous floral tea scent with that jasmine and the osmanthus, but I really love how the dry down becomes this really beautiful, full-bodied, floral, musky type of scent. And as I've mentioned already so many times on this channel, is I'm not a huge fan of those white, clean, musky types of dry downs. And this is not that. This is more of a beautiful, full-bodied type of musk that just really envelops that floral experience. So you're not getting that clean musk type of experience from this perfume. This musk is more of a beautiful, fluffy bubble around the jasmine and the tannins from that oolong tea. It's just really cozy and beautiful, as well as being crisp and bright at the same time, which is just so gorgeous for the summer. But I also think this is really going to work nicely in the cooler months. I can't wait to experience it in the cooler months, so I will definitely keep you posted on that. But for right now, this is such a gorgeous perfume. I am really loving it so much. I think it's really unique, and I don't have anything else like it in my perfume collection, which then brings me to One Day Jasmine Tea, which I also got a full bottle of because, like I said, my husband got me this really lovely gift certificate from Lucky Scent, so I was able to get 2 perfumes. The presentation is really lovely. So on the top of the box is this card insert, which hopefully you can see. It's not taped on there. There are these little flaps that this card is tucked into, or I should say envelope actually. And then there's information about the perfume in the envelope. And then this is what the presentation of the bottle looks like. And as you might remember, if you watched my tea perfume video, I totally fell in love with jasmine tea, obviously felt strongly enough about it to purchase the full bottle. This is a gorgeous jasmine tea perfume, obviously. And looking at my perfume journal, I'll tell you the notes. They are jasmine, clary sage, tea leaf, oolong tea extract, vetiver, and musk. Although I would not say that I have found this perfume to be particularly musky in the dry down. For me, right out of the gate, this is all about the jasmine. It is a beautiful floral perfume with those hints of the tea, very realistic in terms of jasmine tea. If you are a jasmine tea drinker, this will be very reminiscent of your jasmine tea ritual in the morning. So as I mentioned in that previous video, this has a really lovely, soft kind of indolic jasmine side. It's not too heavy on the indoles, but they are definitely there with the hint of those tannins. It's just really beautifully done. I think I also mentioned in that previous video where I was speaking about this perfume that jasmine tea has this really lovely richness to it, but it's also very grounded by those tannins. So the jasmine is very lush, it's kind of sumptuous, but again, those tannins from the oolong tea keep it very grounded, and it's just a very beautiful experience. Now, since these are kind of similar in terms of chasing scents tea service and jasmine tea, you might be wondering if you don't have either of these and you are looking for a really lovely jasmine tea perfume, which one should you get? If you tend to like perfumes that have good lasting power, that are gonna last for a good 12 hours and beyond, maybe even into the next day, that has good projection and is a little bit richer, fuller, stronger, I would definitely suggest tea service. If you're looking for a perfume to not be quite as bombastic, if you like your perfumes to last maybe in that 6-hour range, 6 to 8 hour range, you maybe don't want it to stick around to the next day, then I would steer you more towards jasmine tea. This is a little bit more soft-spoken, so it just kind of depends upon what mood I am in. I'm not always looking for my perfume to last quite so long as the Chasing Scents perfume lasts, so it just sort of depends upon the mood that I'm in, who I'm gonna be around, where I'm going, but I am really happy to have both of them. In my opinion, they are both different enough to justify having both of them, obviously, because I do, but they are also similar enough that I don't think you need to have both of them. So hopefully that gives you enough information if you are looking to get either one or both of them into your collection. So obviously jasmine tea and tea service were the big hits for me in terms of the perfumes that I brought with me on my trip. I did also bring Jovoy's Remember Me, and I don't know if I'm saying Jovoy correctly, but anyway, I brought the sample of Remember Me on my trip as well. This has gorgeous notes in it. It has cardamom, tea, plumeria, vanilla, and cedar. I mean, this just seems like a perfume that I would absolutely love. I have this on this test strip here, and I did wear this a couple times while I was on my vacation. And I liked it, but I didn't absolutely love it. And I think it's because it's just a little bit too powdery for me. I don't feel like I got enough of the tea from this perfume. So again, I liked it, but I didn't absolutely fall in love with it. I could see reaching for this perfume maybe a few times throughout the winter months, but I don't think this would become a full bottle worthy perfume for me. So I'm kind of curious what you all think about Jovoy's Remember Me as far as a tea perfume goes. But again, for me, it just was a little bit too powdery for me. I just don't feel like I got enough of the cardamom. Plumeria did not stand out to me at all. And I'm just really not getting a lot of cedar from it either. So unfortunately, Remember Me is not a huge hit, but I do appreciate for whoever mentioned for me to try this. I'm really glad that I found it in my collection and gave it another try. And then the other thing I want to mention that I discovered on my trip when I was back east is I went into this really cute homeware shop and I found this absolutely gorgeous Palo Santo room spray. This is from a brand called Cedar and Myrrh, and this is absolutely stunning. If you like Palo Santo, I cannot recommend this highly enough. The Palo Santo in here is so smooth, so creamy, and it has this buttery aspect to it that just sends me into this relaxation state like no other sort of ambient fragrance that I have has ever been able to do. So this I cannot recommend highly enough. And the ingredients in here only mention Palo Santo essential oil. So I'm not too sure what magic they have been able to work in this room spray. I don't know if it's the Palo Santo sourcing. They have some special Palo Santo. I don't know what it is, but it is absolutely stunning. Like I said, There's this buttery quality to this Palo Santo that I have never experienced before. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, my olfactory experiences while I was away on my 2 little vacations, and also share with you the roses that Mandy Aptel recommends as far as being some of the most beautifully fragrant roses, which I could not agree with more. So I hope you all are doing well and staying happy and healthy, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.